It's man against nature out here. It's like a Jack London story. If you don't know who Jack London is, Google him. It's man against nature. The first year, it was the Japanese beetles that came on in force. The next year, wasps. I've had problems with mice. And then yellow jackets got into my shop. And then, of course, chipmunks. Cute, cuddly creatures, sure. But when there's too many of them and they're organized, they formed a platoon-sized element. It wasn't a pretty situation. But I'm not talking about out here. I'm not talking about out in the woods. I'm talking about in here. Out here, in the shop. It's man against nature. Come on in, I'll explain. First, we don't want rodents or insects in our shop or inside of our cars, especially if we store them. Whether it's short-term or long-term, we want to either eliminate or repel both rodents and insects. This shop tip, like many of my other ones, are either no cost or low cost. This time I'm using things that you commonly have in your shop. If you're like me, you stock WD-40 in a gallon-sized container, and you have a spray applicator. Now, WD-40 has 101 uses, can be used as a preservative and as a cleaner, but it also kills yellow jackets and wasps. So once you spray them, they immediately are affected. They don't die instantly, but they'll go from flying state to drop out of the sky with one spray of WD-40, and I know it does kill them. I've used WD-40 on flying insects for years, but one of the things that I've recently discovered is Dawn dishwashing soap. Dawn dishwashing soap mixed with water, a few drops of Dawn in a spray applicator, and this is just an old Windex bottle that I use as an applicator, will kill most insects. It'll kill spiders, flies, common house flies, fruit flies, and it takes a little bit of time for it to work, so I'm hesitant to use it on yellow jackets and wasps, but I'm sure it'll work on yellow jackets and wasps because it kills all spiders. Those two products I use to eliminate insects in my shop or around my cars on the outside, typically on the outside of my cars. Let's move on to prevention. To prevent insects from entering my shop, I use a Permethrin and Water mix. The Army uses this on clothing for long-term flying insect and crawling insect like woodland ticks, to prevent them from getting on your body. But I don't use this on my body, or when I'm camping, you can spray it on tents, but I use it as a reduced water mix, and I'll spray it under the eaves of my house and under the eaves of my shop, and it prevents mosquitoes and flying insects like horseflies from entering my shop. To prevent rodents from getting into my stored cars, I'll use Peppermint Essential Oils on a paper towel in a container that I can place somewhere where it won't spill. You don't want to just put the essential oils in your car unless you really like the smell, but it's very intense, and when I drive the car I can remove this container and it still smells like peppermint inside the car, but it's not as intense as if you were to put the essential oils right on the carpet or someplace. You certainly can do that too. You can put it in the trunk and on the carpet, but I typically put it on a paper towel and soak the paper towel in it, and then put the container somewhere where it won't spill inside the car. I use peppermint, but I also understand that lavender has the same effect. So the essential oils of lavender, you want to make sure you're using the 100% peppermint or 100% lavender essential oils, so it's a very strong smell that'll keep the rodents out of your car. Well, that's a tip to eliminate or repel rodents and insects from your shop or your cars. Use products that you already have in your shop. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, and I look forward to your comments.